serve our customers and will be moving to the west side of Merrill in the near future. Don't get mad. Call Zabels. Zabels Door Company in Merrill knows a small accident can disrupt the security and function of your home. That's why Zabels can be at your home within 24 hours for emergency service. Our trained technicians are ready to assist you if any emergency occurs to get your home back to normal. Don't get mad. Call Zabels.
You've decided to go back to school. Good for you. Which would you rather do? Get up early, get dressed, drive to college, find a parking spot, walk across campus, only to sit in a giant lecture hall, or earn your degree from home with Independence University. We'll even provide you with a new laptop and tablet to keep when you graduate, and a personal student success team. Independence University. Online, but never alone.
Call 1-800-397-2159. 1-800-397-2159.
Up North at 4 with Nate and Jeff starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Myhock, and welcome to Up North at 4. Today on the show, we'll try a new drink that is taking over the nation, and it's all thanks to Tom Hanks. Plus, we'll see what surprise a couple of Minnesota residents have for any daring scuba divers. And finally, the two of us will help make some college kids some extra money. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, here's your Top 4 at 4. The storms battering the West Coast have been brutal and put many families in a very tough spot. But luckily, one man has created a lifeline for him and all of his neighbors. Daryl Hardy placed a zip line over an access bridge that was washed away, and that has allowed residents of Grizzly Flats a chance to connect to the mainland. Hardy now uses that zip line to bring food, medicine, fuel, and other staples to his neighbors. And while the situation has been terrible, this just shows how much we humans can be pretty bullheaded in the face of disaster. And to be honest, it looks kind of fun too. For all you Seinfeld fans out there, one of the best episodes in this show's run is when Elaine grows so sick of her neighbor's dog barking all night that her and the crew decide to kidnap it. Now, I'm sure a few of us have felt similar urges when someone else's pooch won't be quiet, but I highly recommend not acting out on those urges. And one way to make your neighbor's animal stay quiet is to make them rack up the fines. For example, a family in Maryland is fighting for their right to crow, or for their rooster's right to crow. The Tannenbaums purchased Wilbur the rooster in August, and like roosters tend to do, Wilbur makes a lot of noise. So much so that the Tannenbaums' neighbors began to complain. And now the county has gotten involved, fining the Tannenbaums 2 citations equaling over $4,000, essentially $150 for each documented crow that Wilbur makes. Since then, the family has created a petition to save their beloved rooster, and more than 5,000 people have signed on. You know, have you ever found yourself in an uncomfortable situation where you're really not sure what to do? Well, NBA superstar Joel Embiid found himself in a very similar scenario over the weekend, and he decided to dance the stress away. For his game against the Utah Jazz, Embiid found himself near midcourt, surrounded by the Utah dance team, and he decided to just join right in. The 7-foot, 280-pound big man stood out like a sore thumb, but his dance moves helped him blend right in, and maybe the extra warm-up helped Embiid as he put up 30 points in a 1-point victory over the Jazz. Moving from the hardwood to the gridiron now, I thoroughly enjoyed a full weekend slate of NFL playoff action, and if you also decided to keep the channel tuned to Saturday night's game, well, congrats on witnessing the 5th largest comeback in NFL history. But what's sweeter than bouncing back after throwing 4 interceptions to shock the world? Probably a plate full of waffles. In the early morning hours of Sunday, Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence was spotted grabbing a bite to eat at a Waffle House. The pride of the Jacksonville franchise was truly one with the people, because there is nothing more Southern than eating at Waffle House after a night full of partying. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joining us now live in the studio. Jeff, I gotta ask, go to Waffle House.
Yes, Waffle House all the way. Okay, so for us today,
kind of a dangerous day, right? Lots of falls out there, lots of accidents, even several road closures this morning because we had a lot of rainfall on top of some snow-packed roadways, and that gave us scenes like this today. Look at this parking lot here in Rhinelander, just a sheet of ice. Hard to maneuver on that, right? That caused lots of accidents this morning. And we're not done, as we do have more rainfall on the way for us tonight that will change over to snow for some areas. We're going to put some snow on top of scenes like this, and that's going to lead to even more problems by tomorrow morning. All right, so here's the radar out there now. And again, lots of rain showers, even a couple of thunder showers across parts of Portage County today into Wood County. Those aren't around any longer, but you get the idea. This thing is kind of sitting and spinning over us. Temperatures are hovering right near freezing. So some of us are getting sleet, some snow, some rain, some freezing rain, and that will continue for several more hours tonight. And of course, temperatures are critical. We are 1 degree above freezing in Rhinelander, 33 for Merrill, 35 for Wapaka. So mostly rain across central Wisconsin. And here's that wintry, messy mix across parts of north central Wisconsin. Mostly freezing drizzle now along the UP border and points north of there. All right, so advisories are posted. Now, this is not for what you think. Yes, it's messy out there now with freezing drizzle, but we're going to get some snow in here tonight as well. This is an advisory for some light snow tonight, mainly along and north of Highway 8. That could give us an inch or 2 or 3 of snowfall tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning. Okay, so here's the future radar, and this is tonight, 8:24 or so, looking at this, looking at some snow showers along and north of Highway 8 that will rotate through the entire region this evening, and that could give us that 1 to 3 inch snowfall tonight. This whole thing gets out of here later tomorrow, and then our attention turns over here. There's System 2 right there. System 2 arrives for us late Wednesday into Thursday. It's going to be much colder around here then, with high temperatures in the 20s, and that looks like mostly a snow event on the way. In fact, this thing is in parts of California right now. And here's a live look at Mammoth Lakes. I've been watching this all week long because they got 14 feet of snow. 14 feet of snow in the last 7 days in Mammoth Lakes. The ski trails are doing fantastically. And also the snowpack across the Colorado Rockies is 142% to normal right now. That's great for the water, of course, the problems in the west. But on Thursday for us, we're going to have a Colorado low developing across the Midwest, track mostly toward Milwaukee or Chicago. On that track, we're on the cold side. That will likely give us, or someplace near us, a significant snow late Wednesday into Thursday, probably ending on Thursday night. Let's walk you through it. System 1 gets out of here tonight. System 2 develops across the plains tomorrow, gets in here late Wednesday and Thursday, and it's on a track right now to bring parts of Wisconsin a pretty good snow into Thursday, and temperatures by then are well below freezing Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Looks like an all-snow event getting in here on Thursday. Our forecast then for tonight, though, looking at cloudy skies, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and some snow with low temperatures down near 32. Your full forecast at 5 o'clock.
Wow, lumber has gone up again.
And I've heard the real estate market is unbelievable too.
We really need to remodel our bathroom, but I don't know if prices are reasonable.
Well, I heard that Mad City has a price lock guarantee.
Price lock guarantee? Really?
With Mad City Bath's Price Lock Guarantee, schedule a free estimate now for your new bath or shower and lock in your price guaranteed for 1 year. Plus, it's our winter half-off labor event. Receive 50% off installation with 24 months, no interest, no payments. Senior and military discounts, plus a bonus. The first 50 homeowners who call during this program will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a new bath or shower, used for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. And with Mad City's Do More discount, get additional savings on new EcoSky windows and kitchen cabinet refacing. Plus, ask about our safe, accessible walk-in showers.
When you get to be our age, you start worrying about things that you don't even think of at your age, you know, like getting in and out of the tub.
That's why Rich called Mad City Baths for a safe bathing space with a new walk-in shower like this. Mad City is Wisconsin's #1 remodeler and trusted local source for custom-made baths, showers, and walk-in tubs installed in as little as 1 day. Now it's our winter half-off labor event. Receive 50% off installation. We install year-round, and ask about our price lock guarantee. Plus, get 24 months, no interest, no payments, senior and military discounts. And the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with a bath or shower purchase. From Wausau and North Central Wisconsin, call 715-941-4238. That's 715-941-4238.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. Tom Hanks, we all know him, the world-famous actor. But apparently, Jeff, I don't know if you knew this, Tom Hanks is also apparently a mixologist. Have you heard about this?
I'm sure he has a bar in his home or has people for that.
I'm sure. But so Hanks himself has introduced a new cocktail that he says was sort of born over the holidays, right? He calls it cocaine. And I know what you're thinking. It is not the illicit drug. It is actually a mix of Coca-Cola.
So he calls it this?
Champagne.
This is the name he gave it?
I don't know if he calls it this, but everyone else is calling it this. And it was kind of discovered not really on accident, just more on a whim. And all he really did was add a shot of champagne to his already regular Diet Coke. And apparently, he says it's delicious. It took the internet by storm because the internet is known to take those things and run. And a lot of people say it's actually pretty good. So
I get to try this.
So you know how we roll here on Up North at 4. Jeff and I are going to
Earlier today, he's like, I'm going shopping. See you in a bit. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Didn't even ask. That's how much faith or maybe stupidity Jeff has. So either way you want to call it. All right, so we're going to try what they call cocaine. And according to Hanks, and according to some people on the internet who have tried it, they say you got to do like 3/4 Coca-Cola, the rest champagne. All right, so we're gonna try this mixture here. I think I've asked you this before, but are you a champagne guy?
I like champagne. I celebrate with it, right?
Okay.
But, I mean, I much prefer like wine.
See, I'm not a champagne or a wine guy. I whine a lot with an H.
Yes.
But that's a separate issue.
All right, so 3/4 Coke to what? 1/4 that?
That looks pertinent even. All right, so we're gonna
partner.
I'm just gonna give you a little splash.
Well, no, it's supposed to be 1/4. So a little more of a splash.
Okay, fine.
I only have like 4 more shows to do today.
We're
good.
Fine.
Okay.
I haven't had champagne since my wedding, and we got those little mini bottles, obviously, to celebrate.
The Moet ones?
Yeah, and I had like maybe half of it, and I was like, this is disgusting, and I switched to it.
Wasn't for you?
Never is. All right, we'll try this.
It does actually smell good.
Yeah.
Wow, the camera's right on me. Thanks, Derek. One more time. So good.
There's something there. I don't know. What do you think?
I could do a lot of this. Like, especially after a day, like a rough day at the office.
It's kind of refreshing.
It is. I think you're supposed to add a little bit more champagne, though. I don't think you put enough champagne in. So you're done for the day after that.
Well, you said it. What do you want me to do?
A few more shows to do.
So you're thinking more champagne.
At 5, I'll have the hiccups.
We're going to try another mix.
Yeah, I would do that. What was the last one we did of these? It was something you made up, and I'm not sure what it was, but it was awful. This I would do.
This is good. This is good. We can attest to this. Tom Hanks.
But Dan would yell at me. Dan, our evening anchor, he hates when I drink sugar. He always yells at me for drinking sugar because he's like one of those guys who doesn't do that. But
what's he going to do?
I don't know. Nothing.
Whatever. Yeah. In the meantime, Jeff, we got to chat about Jason Voorhees. We're going to do that.
Are we?
After the break, and I'm North at 4. Stick with us.
Okay.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Update your bathroom with a new bath fan from HomeWorks. This bath fan features a Bluetooth speaker, so you can enjoy your favorite music or listen to news, weather, or sports while the energy-efficient fan quietly ventilates your bathroom. Now on sale for $89.99. Add style to your bathroom with a Kohler Elate sliding shower door. The frameless design emphasizes its tempered glass to create a sleek, minimalist look. Pick up the Kohler Elate shower door today for $599.99 at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
get an Escape, Edge, or Explorer SUV with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Do not try any of this.
Oh my God.
Your Honor, the defendant is groping her attorney.
That's night court, baby.
Big Bang's Melissa Rouse.
Anyone that's a stripper, please go home.
John Larroquette.
I am renowned for charm and grace.
Night Court, Tuesday on NBC.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. So, Jeff, I got to ask you, did you even realize that Friday the 13th was like just a couple of days ago?
Oh, I did. I lived through it, and it was a day.
It was a day.
It did.
I'll be honest, went right over my head. Luckily, nothing terrible happened to me. So
You didn't cross any black cats in the street?
A couple, but nothing came out of it. But speaking of Friday the 13th, a couple of Minnesota men have placed a nod to their favorite horror movie franchise at the bottom of the lake, and I hate this so much, but check it out, see what you think for yourself.
Just got all these flamingos. They break, and they get decommissioned, so then I get them.
If you ask Doug Klein to explain the oodles of oddities in his garage, his answers might make you laugh.
Kohl's is going out of business, so I got a bunch of mannequin bodies.
This local electrician's penchant for the peculiar goes beneath the surface, literally. By night, he's a scuba diver who takes his odd stuff underwater.
There's a shark laying by the dumpster, so the shark's in there now, too.
But his magnum opus is a serial killer. Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movie franchise. A nod to the 6th movie when the characters chained to the bottom of Crystal Lake. But here in Minnesota, for the past 10 years, Jason's lurked at Louise Mine Pit in Crosby at 112 feet deep.
I had all this stuff in my garage. I had 2x4s, I had plywood, I had foam. I just decided, hey, I'm going to build Jason.
His diving pal
We met 13 years ago.
is Curtis Lahr, who gave him a hand in the process by giving him a head.
Found this plastic head that is used like for medical devices.
Terrifying teamwork produced a villain Doug's quite proud of.
I think the eyes turned out really good, because when you're down there and you look at them, the eyes are looking at you.
Curtis put it all on YouTube, and over the past decade, it's gone viral several times. In fact, he's become a destination.
We had a guy come all the way from Washington State to dive him, didn't we?
Yep. I think there was a guy from California came just to dive him, too. People just really enjoy it, and that makes me happy.
So happy he's got something or someone else in the works.
That may end up as Freddy Krueger one day.
All right, Jeff, I got to ask you, though. I've never gone scuba diving, have you?
Yes.
Okay, so you have. Ocean, clear water, or in the lake?
Ocean.
Okay, so you at least have, you can see a decent amount.
Aruba. Yep.
This terrifies me. I am already a little weary of deep water in a lake, and then you come across Jason Voorhees. Like,
You know what? We covered this on our new news today, and the thing that terrifies me about this one, the pink flamingos.
That scares you more?
People have pink flamingos. You can't trust them. It's one of those things.
That's actually a good point. I think you're on to something.
There's something about people who have pink flamingos in their yards.
Makes you a little weary of them?
Makes you a little weary. Yes.
Hey, if you have a pink flamingo in your yard, please reach out to us. We would love to meet you and just hear your story. And if you're the guy that puts Jason Voorhees at the bottom of the lake, I don't want to meet you, but to each their own. All right, Jeff, maybe we will schedule a scuba diving trip, you and I, one day for the show, and I can get over my fears, but for now, I think I'm going to hold out on that one. We're going to take a break, though, and Up North at 4, we'll be right back after this.
Come on.
Are you ready for something new? At Cost Cutters, we'll give you a look that will have you listening to lots of compliments. Buy products you love this month at Cost Cutters during our buy one, get one half off sale on all Leader professional products.
It's a fact. Problems with your basement don't get better with time. They get better with SureDry. SureDry has been fixing wet basements, foundation, and concrete issues for over 25 years. There are plenty of people who can promise you a solution, but SureDry delivers. You have a home and a family to protect, and our experts will provide a permanent solution that gives you the confidence you need to sleep at night. Schedule your free estimate today.
Sure is nice to have my 3 older kids home to visit.
Oh yeah, I love coming home. I missed having soft water.
That's why I bring my laundry home on the weekend.
It's so much better for my hair too, but you wouldn't know anything about that, Corey.
Well, that's why my hair looks so nice and moisturized. What do you know about moisturized hair? Well, having 2 older sisters and a brother who only showers a couple times a week helps.
Well, actually, 72 years of treating water in Wisconsin is our family story. You kids are pretty well versed in water.
So let us make your family's water better today.
All your local news is just a swipe away with the new and improved Newswatch 12 mobile app. Download the app on all your devices for local news, school closings, full video newscasts, and more. Newswatch 12, news from where you live. The WJFW News app is sponsored by Cellcom.
Go all in with Cellcom as your wireless carrier for one low monthly cost. Get select phones, monthly data, and unlimited talk and text for as low as $24.99 per month. Visit cellcom.com/save.
Love your career? Cost Cutters will support you in achieving your career goals. With competitive wages, great benefits, and up to a $2,250 sign-on bonus. Stop in or visit costcutters.com to find your nearest location.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. So it was 10 years ago that an iconic meme was born, the Popeyes kid. He was filmed, posted to Vine, which then became a cultural icon for the last decade. Jeff does not remember this meme, but I'm going to try to jog his memory a little bit. I have video of the meme here, so we can pull that up if we could. So this is it. The kid's kind of side-eyeing the camera at a Popeyes. Well, his name is Colin, and he is now a 19-year-old freshman at Lake Erie College. He's playing college football. And so once people kind of figured out that, hey, this little kid in this very famous video is now a college athlete, he needs to sign an NIL deal with Popeyes, and sure enough, they offered him, of course, NIL being the name, image, and likeness deal. So this Division II college football player is now making money from the Popeyes fast food chain.
This.
And
I didn't know that was a thing, though.
Oh,
that was 10 years ago?
10 years ago. Were you?
And he just did a side-eye like that? He became a meme?
Do you remember Vine at all, the social media site?
Okay, it does.
It was very like 6-second, like little clips.
Yes.
And essentially in the video, I don't know if it was his brother, a sibling, or whoever it was,
like
was
an early TikTok.
Was kind of talking to him, and he was kind of looking at him like, what do you want? And it became a meme ever since then. People use it all the time when you're making fun of someone. Yeah. So this is just kind of like a perfect thing where it has gone full circle for Colin to now
he's making
literally
some
getting
bucks
paid
off it.
from Popeyes.
Maybe they'll pay for college for him.
Yeah, right. And so the NIL deals have been huge for college sports, where athletes can now actually use their own name to make money for themselves. And obviously the Popeyes meme kid getting paid by Popeyes is about as perfect of a blend as you can get. But Jeff, there are some good ones out there. And I want to kind of walk you through some of these ideas I have, and you tell me if these are good ones, all right? So we're going to start with the first one here, see if we can pull it up. So we have a guy who plays defensive line for South Carolina. His name is Hot Rod Fitton. This is a real name. I'm not making this up. So I'm thinking here, if he can sign an NIL deal, you know who we should do it with? Pull this one up here. Sign him on to the Carolina Rod Shop, and just think, imagine him every single game pulling up to the stadium in a hot rod. It's literally his name.
Your clip art here is amazing.
Oh, I know. I worked very hard on this.
You were pretty quiet earlier. I wondered what you were doing.
What do we think about this one, though, Jeff?
I'm not a fan.
No? That's a no?
No. Let's see what the next one has to
All right. This next one, I think you will like this one. Probably the best name I've heard. His name is Buck Coors. Again, people, these are legitimate real names. I'm not making these up. He's a defensive... I don't know, but I'm going to say Coors because it sounds cooler. He's a defensive back at the University of Wyoming, and I mean, this one is natural. NIL deal, hear me out. Pull this one up if you could. With Big Buck Hunter, the game, and Coors Light. You know what I call that?
What?
A Wisconsin deer camp.
Oh, okay. With the 30-point buck. We got to get a 30-point buck in
What
there,
do we think about Buck Coors?
Yes.
That one's a good one? All
okay,
right.
good one.
I should open my own marketing.
Good job, Nate. That was a good one.
I think you're going to like this one, too.
Got that.
We got Bumper Pool, who was a linebacker at Arkansas. These are real names,
That was
Jeff.
a game in my living room when I was growing
Bumper
up.
Pool, I know. So here's what I'm thinking. plays for Arkansas, a very popular destination is Fun Trackers in Hot Springs. His name is literally Bumper Pool. That's a bumper boat.
There's a bumper. Right.
It translates to bumper boat if you think about it.
This is too literal, though.
What do you mean it's too literal? That's
it's
perfect.
Just like it's a gimme. I mean, okay, but we need to interview his parents and why they named him Bumper Pool.
I love that.
Like,
name.
I don't what.
It rolls off the tongue. It's a fun game to play.
Where's
as well.
he in Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Okay.
I could make jokes
Imagine,
about Arkansas.
Like, going
but I'm
through
not going to.
grade school with that name.
Bumper Pool. I don't know. I think you're onto something. I do want to meet the parents.
I want to meet his parents. Yeah.
I think you're going to like this last one here, though, Jeff. Let's see if we can pull it up. We got Tiger Shanks, who plays at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Now, this one might be a stretch, but I think I'm onto something here.
For you, a stretch? No.
NIL deal for Tiger Shanks with Wynwood Exotic Animal Park, a.k.a. the place where Joe Exotic owned.
Isn't he in trouble? Is that
because he allegedly killed tigers, and his name is Tiger Shanks.
Okay.
It's a joke within a
joke, kind of, but a
not
bad
a
one.
No,
No, I
not
don't
a
like
good
that
one.
one. But
No?
Bumper Pool
Okay.
wins.
Bumper Pool is
Bumper Pool
the
wins
winner.
to me.
Okay.
And the deer stand one.
Buck Coors.
Yes.
I call him the Wisconsin Deer Camp. That's what happens
Coors,
at a deer camp.
Is
All
it
right,
Coors
Jeff.
or Coors? Like,
I'm gonna look this
is it
up
a
for you.
Coors Light or a Coors Light?
Coors Light.
Say it again.
Coors Light.
Okay.
I don't know. We're going to debate about this. We're going to be back, though, after the break at Up North at 4.
Is it?
Coors Light.
Get up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of furniture and mattresses must go. Lowest prices around on recliners, sofas, mattresses, and lots more. Slumberland Furniture.
Wow. Lumber has gone up again.
And I've heard the real estate market is unbelievable, too.
We really need to remodel our bathroom, but I don't know if prices are reasonable.
Well, I heard that Mad City has a price lock guarantee.
Price lock guarantee? Really?
With Mad City Bath's Price Lock Guarantee, schedule a free estimate now for your new bath or shower and lock in your price guaranteed for 1 year. Plus, it's our winter half-off labor event. Receive 50% off installation with 24 months, no interest, no payments. Senior and military discounts, plus a bonus. The first 50 homeowners who call during this program will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of a new bath or shower, used for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. And with Mad City's Do More discount, get additional savings on new EcoSky windows and kitchen cabinet refacing. Plus, ask about our safe, accessible walk-in showers.
When you get to be our age, you start worrying about things that you don't even think of at your age, you know, like getting in and out of the tub.
That's why Rich called Mad City Baths for a safe bathing space with a new walk-in shower like this. Mad City is Wisconsin's #1 remodeler and trusted local source for custom-made baths, showers, and walk-in tubs installed in as little as 1 day. Now it's our winter half-off labor event. Receive 50% off installation. We install year-round and ask about our price lock guarantee. Plus, get 24 months, no interest, no payments, senior and military discounts. And the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with a bath or shower purchase. From Wausau and North Central Wisconsin, call 715-941-4238. That's 715-941-4238.
Up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of merchandise must go. Lowest prices around on mattresses, rugs, bar stools, sectionals, accent chairs, and more at Slumberland Furniture.
Alrighty, Jeff. It was an icy, treacherous day out there with the weather.
Sure was. And I know I asked for this, but people are sending me pictures of their pink flamingos.
I truly hope you come home later tonight and there's just a flock of pink flamingos in your yard.
Anyways, the ground's frozen. It's raining on top of the ice. Parking lots are a disaster.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
We're that packed down snow, right on top of it, a sheet of ice now. It's likely not going to go away. In fact, we'll throw a bit of snow on top of that tonight north of Highway 8, making things very slippery again for tomorrow morning's commute.
It is going to be an ice rink out there, so drive safe, be smart. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Up North at 4. Enjoy.
Our Newswatch 12 News team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most to the North Woods. NBC Newswatch 12, from where you live.
GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class.